Time for Media Watch. James Creighton is here with us. James, the First Lady of France, Valérie Trierweiler, has apologised for this infamous tweet that she put out.
She was once called Valérie Tweetweller because of the ignominy that tweet got at the time. This was back just after the presidential election when they were having parliamentary elections, as you know well, Mark, and she supported the opponent of Ségolène Royal, who is François Hollande's ex. It was cast as sour grapes or the green-eyed monster, all that kind of stuff. So she has finally spoken to a newspaper about this incident, West France, or West France, there it is, and she said, "I regret that tweet, it was an error." Now, she went on to say that it was misinterpreted, and analysts are saying that the error was the tweet itself, not the content of the tweet. In any case, that's getting into semantics. But what's interesting to note is that interview comes pretty much at the same time as a poll in which her opinion rating is pretty poor, to say the least. To give you an idea of that, Mark, 29% of people have a positive opinion of her, according to this Harris
Just
Interactive
29%.
poll. Yep. 40% have a bad opinion of her, and there's various other statistics that are far from flattering. So there you go.
Maybe she just should have kept her mouth shut.
She probably
and let it
should.
all die down
Well,
quietly.
what one analyst is saying is it's this sort of Judeo-Christian thing of you apologise and your sins will be forgiven, and if you're doing badly in the polls, apologise. This is what the PR people will tell you to do: apologise, and your opinion rating might then go up.
Confession works in the Catholic Church, whether it works in public, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, next to a movement launched by the French entrepreneurs opposing François Hollande's budget. They're calling themselves the pigeon entrepreneur.
Right.
Why is that? Why pigeons? Catch the pigeon?
If you're a pigeon
Pigeon.
in French, this I always kind of find quite amusing. It means you're the fall guy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, je me sens pigeon. I feel like I'm being had by these people, you know. Or I don't know. Was it Charles de Gaulle called the French? Was it or no? That was veau. That's a whole other thing. That's cows. Anyway, we're going off topic here. French entrepreneurs are unhappy. At least some of them are about taxes. The budget is coming up, and in fact, if entrepreneurs were to sell on a startup, there is a claim that they would be taxed on 60% of the profits, similar to inheritance tax in France, where if you are trying to pass your money on to your offspring, 60% of that will go to the taxpayer. So you have this group, you can see it online, it's called Pigeon Entrepreneurs, and they're saying we shouldn't be the fall guys. So they started up, for the tax man that is, so they started up this Facebook group. It's got 30 to 40,000 followers. It's got an awful lot of attention. That was last Friday it started, and now you've got, typically French, the opposing group of entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, who are against the pigeons, who are saying, look, we, like everybody else, should pay our taxes, even if it's up to 60%. And actually, there are loopholes which would allow you to get out of this supposed 60% tax for selling on a startup. It's all very complicated, but it's getting an awful lot of attention abroad as well. This was on the Financial Times website yesterday afternoon. So French pigeons in a flutter over tax rise, and it's led to lots of puns as well. They don't want to be plucked or roasted and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they'll all come home to roost eventually. Okay, David Blaine. He likes
Right.
to stream things. What's his latest stunt?
All right, David Blaine. Let's take a look at these pictures, because he is speaking of being roasted, he's about to go up on a 20-foot pole in New York and, be electrocuted. Now, he's going to be wearing a chainmail jacket, which will mean that the current will go around him. Up to 1 million volts will go around him and not through him. And typically of David Blaine, he won't be sleeping and he won't be eating for 72 hours while he's on top of that pole. And the New York Times has this to say about it: if he starts to nod off, just try another 1 million volts. That might wake him up. And you can actually follow this, Mark, if you get a bit bored over the weekend, right? On YouTube, Electrified is the whole thing. That's what it's been called. And you can follow it from Friday until Monday. The New York Times says, it's a kind of cyber sadism. People can, tune in on
I'm
this
never bored
latest
at the
act.
weekend because I watch France 24, in between other things, of course. But why on earth would David Blaine want to do this? I mean, he's done some strange things, like hanging that sort of glass box over the Thames, not
That's
eating
right.
for 6 weeks or whatever
That's
it was.
That's it.
Being immersed in a block of ice, that kind of thing.
I think it's just purely spectacle. It's proving that the human body can endure incredible things if the mind goes with it. I think that's the idea, really. It's just endurance and spectacle.
It's a bit like you presenting Media Watch.
Right, there you go. Except I do eat and I do sleep. I promise you that
Good
much.
man. I'm pleased to hear it. James Creedon. Thank you
Thanks,
very
Mark.
much indeed. James Creedon with Media Watch.